is, what is it? It is July 10, 2024. Well, I'm surprised I'm here. Why am I surprised I'm here? Because for the last half hour, YouTube wouldn't let me get on this page, wouldn't let me get into my studio, wouldn't let me get into content on either Never Lose Truth or Never Lose Truth 5. I'm wondering if anybody else experienced problems with YouTube. Not like we never experience problems with YouTube, right? Okay, this is what was happening. And it gets very frustrating. This is the studio. I had to get into content, to get into live, to press go live. So the last few minutes before 5 o'clock, I was looking for a way to just post a quick video to let you know that I wasn't going live. No smooth streaming, of course. Watch it buffer. All right. You know, sometimes people experience stress that is beyond what they can handle. And I'm there, unfortunately. I'm there. So, it's a matter of time for me. And unfortunately, I think it's a matter of time for a lot of people. But hey, let me say hello. Wonder why. Elizabeth Rivard, thank you. Alicia DeMoss, Dean Moore. Sandra, hello. Rufus Turner, hello. Mama Rages, thank you. And who else is in the chat? Did I say hello, Analog? Analog Synth Player? I might have. It's buffering. Wow, man. Buffering for everybody. No issues here. No issues on your end. I'm watching it buffer, so buffering like mad. No, I just got stuck in an area that really has shit internet service. And that's really getting to me. All right, unbelievable. All right, just give me a few minutes, guys. No buffering on your end. I see it buffering, so I don't understand why you're not getting any buffering. That's weird, because I literally see my live buffering. So, well, I'm still here too, Steve. You know, but stress does a number on you. And look, good for you that you're still there. Can I have my own experience? It's very important that we don't compare, because our circumstances, I have a funny feeling, Steve, are very different. And, you know, I mean, how long have you been experiencing stress? What has happened in your life over the years? And a whole lot of people will say, well, I've been experiencing stress every single day for 5 years and my circumstances are such. We all have our own individual experiences. It's very important to recognize that, acknowledge it, and respect it. Otherwise, what you do to people is just slap them in the face, thinking your experience is their experience, and therefore, because you survived it, I should survive it. That's insane thinking. The idea of having to move again is really, and frankly, I heard there were no safety issues, but apparently they got approved. Insurance company is improving a complete, gutting of the house and renovation, which I am so surprised at. And, but the house needs to be vacated for that to go on. I have 3 cats. There's one outdoor cat. Well, there's a couple of outdoor cats, but one that I guess the subscriber is going to take. And she's got 4 cats. And this, it just does a number on your brain. And I think a lot of you know how many times I've been moving and how ground down I've been. So, you get to a point where you have to just say, holy shit, life got you. Now, a whole lot of people will say, like somebody said, that they thought that, this was a good place for me. No, it's not. There's no life for me here. None. I'm out in cactus land. There's nothing for me. And there's also a lot of filler to go through. And I'm going to have to do that because I have told people along the way, and I've never done it, that I would post a video trying to clarify a lot of what I've gone through so that people can understand. And I've never done it. And there are certain people that I do want to reach, so I'm going to have to do that, and I'm going to have to do it quickly. Stress is, I never understood it. I've had a stressful life. I've always put myself in a circumstance that caused a lot of stress, and, with going back to school and yada yada, becoming an attorney. But all of that was my choice. Stress that comes along, and it's no choice of yours, and you just have to suffer it, that does a number on your health. It does a number on your brain. It makes thinking and trying to get out of circumstances very, very difficult. So I'm also saying this so that people can understand we've got a lot of Americans undergoing tremendous stress. A whole lot of stress. We need to beef up our compassion. We need to beef up our care. And recognize that, no, not everybody has the same experience. And each individual is different. Their constitutions are different. How much they can handle is different. And a whole lot of the stress comes from people. It is my estimation that this is cosmetic. It doesn't need to be done, but they're going to do it. They're not moving, right? The subscriber and I have to move. And it's been too hard. And you get to a place where, all right, you can deal with how much you have right now, and then something comes along and shoots it right back up. And I can't deal. Yeah, I have never thrown in the towel. I feel like I'm thrown in the towel. So I'll be here for however long, but the roof is going to be done on Tuesday. If anybody doesn't know, we apparently had a microburst. That blew off the roof, and it did cause flooding inside. Nothing like the flooding that you're seeing all over the place. So that was all dried up. There was a little bit of dripping. We have a tarp. The sun is beating down so horrendously here that you can't be outside. It's never comfortable, not even in the shade. It is just not comfortable. Now, other people will say, what are you talking about? It's fine. Fine for you? Good. Happy for you. This is the Arizona. I'm not an Arizonan. I will never be an Arizonan, and this is too much. Yeah, I know. An awful lot of people have tried their best, and they've thrown in the towel. I know a lot of them. They've thrown in the towel, and I completely understand it, because you're knocking your head up against the wall. You'd like to, be able to connect at least on a level where you could find some solace, from something has drastically changed with the internet. The comments, the lack of care that I'm seeing from people, and not just my channel, other channels. I'm hearing, I'll listen, even if it's just for a few minutes, to people who are posting "I'm done" videos, like I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm out of life, I'm done with the Matrix, I'm done with, and virtually everyone talks about how incredibly messed up people are. That it's people that are making them feel miserable. We have a social connection with one another. We are social human beings. We need to learn how to communicate with one another. We need to learn how to respect one another. We need to learn how to care. That seems to be lost on a lot of people. And it's one of the reasons why an awful lot of people are just done. Now, that's not to say that there aren't people. Justin Wynn, did you get a room for rent for $700 a month? Unbelievable. I'm paying $650 a month for a room. Did you get a job, Justin? So, yeah, wow, Sandra. Well, I was thinking earlier today that I would love to talk to you. Can you email me at neverlosetruth at gmail.com? You've been a big support, Sandra, and I really appreciate it. There are a few subscribers who have been, their continuous support. And I'm not talking just donations, I'm talking supportive comments, not the immaturity that you see an awful lot all over the internet. And that for sure has helped me go on. Absolutely. Yeah, well, hearts continue to grow colder and colder. Why? Because it's easy for people to not care. I'm tired of it. You did! Justin. started doing paperwork, start working for a medical company, helping take care of seniors in their private homes. How cool. Very happy for you. Very happy for you. Seriously. I love, just hearing some good news. I've been also talking to subscribers, and their families are just shattered. A whole lot of people need help, and they're not getting it. And it's every day now, I feel like I'm going to cry, but I think I'm just all dried up, especially in Arizona, because it's so dry. Maybe it's all of that, the evaporation of water. It just doesn't come, but I feel it. And this is so not me, I even feel it at times when I see something good happen to somebody and I watch the interaction. That's so not me. I was never a crier, though. 2 years in South Carolina, almost every day, recognizing my life shattered. Hard when you have an evil family and they do it to you. They literally, proactively work to destroy you. That's very painful, and you don't get over it, but you can't talk about it, not in our society. You can't talk about how you feel, not in our society. You have to just keep pretending that you're okay. You're okay. No one's okay anymore. I hardly know anyone who is okay. So do we need to change? Yes. Will we? It's your choice. So, yeah, we've got weather. Now, where am I? All right. Hey, sweetheart. I know, but you know what? It's very hot, and you lying on my lap. Oy, oy, oy. I didn't even pull up radar because I was thinking I'm not going to be able to do any lives because I can't get into the studio. So let's just see what's happening. If anything will come up. Thank you. Thank you. And this is supposed to be 5G, right? Wasn't 5G supposed to be quicker and faster? And oh my God, we're going to love it. I knew that was horseshit. But I don't know, 4G, 5G, the Verizon hotspot that I have, the subscriber, still with her phone, it's the area. So there's an awful lot of places where the internet is fine still. It ain't here. So, wow, the push down of these supercells from Iowa into Missouri and pushing it into Illinois, and we've got them in Nebraska, and just what you need, Texas. A little bit more rain on the coast. Last night, the weather was scary again. No rain, but an awful lot of very high winds. Out of the blue. I went out to fill up, yes, the bowls that are out there with water. That seem to be, I don't think it's the birds and the ground squirrels that are, drenching all of the water. So I go out, it's fine, dead, in terms of the wind. Fill up a bowl. I'm walking back to the house. This literally took about a minute. Walking back to the house. Whew, in a heartbeat, it just came out, and the wind was going for hours. Now, when that wind goes, it worries me because I know too much. I've already had the experience of the roof coming off. And yeah, you have to wonder, will that tarp hold? So, yeah, I see some flooding in Michigan, Mama Rages. But I saw a comment from you the other night that said you're in Ohio. I thought you were in Michigan. I'm so confused with where all of you are. 5G to microwave us better. Well, 4G did a number. 4G did a number. Every G, our environment got more and more dangerous in terms of the frequencies. All right, so let's just do a quick check on our tornado alerts. We got one. New York. Otsego. New York? Oh yes, New York. Look at this. Is this the remnants of Hurricane Beryl? It shouldn't be, because I looked at radar earlier and it was pretty much, it did reach into Canada, into the Northeast, but it was pretty much, they had knocked it out. So maybe they, now they do quick starts and pop-up storms, so who the hell knows what the hell is going on. But look at Virginia, look at Pennsylvania, look at New York, look at Vermont, and Florida. Wow. Well, at least now it's going in a westerly direction as opposed to it coming off the east. But none of this looks real anymore. None of it. So, well, I guess you just need to have been someone that watched radar for a while to understand that radar sure has changed. All right, so you've got them near New Berlin, New York, and near Norwich, New York. Oh, pay attention. Let's see. We've got, look at how many states have active severe weather warnings. We've got Arizona, we've got Maryland, we've got Nebraska and New Hampshire, and New Mexico and New York, and Pennsylvania and Vermont. All right. I will post the link. You can check it out for yourself if you're in any of these areas. But, don't think that, all of these poor people and everything that has happened to them, but it won't happen to you. Don't go there. That's a very dangerous way to think. Because when you think like that, you realize when it does happen to you, you're going to be shocked. It's coming to an awful lot of people. Look at all of these states, severe weather. All right, well, you can also count on the fact that we're going to be having severe weather ongoing, continuously. That's my prediction from here on in. Continuous severe weather. Maybe for an afternoon, things will quiet down, but somewhere, and I don't think it's just going to be one area, but it'll be multiple areas. It's weather warfare, what we are living. So, be prepared. That's all I can say. It is not fun. Really. I think there are several people in the chat that could actually speak to what they have suffered from the weather warfare. And what I suffered here was nothing compared to what they have suffered. And I sure do know that. So if you suffer things, try, this is what I did. I was a little tired. I didn't want to be mopping up every room in the house. I didn't want to have to, look out and see the roof on the front, dirt thing. It's really very when you get displaced and you're far away from your roots, meaning where you're from, and we have a big country. We have a whole lot of different cultures with a whole lot of different personalities in those cultures. And the aesthetics, the environment changes drastically. Some people want it, right? Okay, it's choice. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I was going to say the front lawn, but there is no lawn. Desert, cactus, but seeing that outside, but all I kept thinking of, and it definitely kept me going, was this is nothing compared to what other people, the 3 feet of water, 4 feet, 5 feet of water in their homes. So, yeah, it's kind of like a reality check that you give yourself. So if anything happens, keep that in mind. I think that, well, they didn't do 2x4s here, Louisiana Skywatch. More like strips of wood. But it's been holding, and I guess we're supposed to have rain. Who the hell knows? The severe weather. It's where did it come from? We had the severe weather alert yesterday, and that came out of the blue. Oh, in Pima County. I think that's where we are. Severe weather. Severe thunderstorm. Located near and west of Benson. I don't know if we're in Pima County. See, I don't even know where I am. Lackawanna, Pennsylvania. So, yeah, hopefully it will, just stay put for another week. Yes, I did, Shauna. The bird flu summit in October. All right. Without doing any checking, what was the name of that conference that they had for COVID-19 in October prior to the pandemic? And I couldn't think of 101. I want to think exercise 101. No. Event 101. Am I right? I need to get to a place where I'm not stressed. I know that I can get my brain back. Event 201. I was close. You're right, Jay. Event 201 in October 2019, and then January. So now they have, which I'm going to play, this summit coming up in October for the bird flu. Oh, you can't make this up. Repeat. Change the name. Change a few details. Repeat. Let's live a repeat. All right, so. All right, what is this? Wow, radar anomaly over Mexico sparks mystery. Radar anomaly spawned for weeks. Weeks. Okay. To be questioned. And a whole lot of people suffer because of it.
Category 1 hurricane, more than 1.7 million customers here are still in the dark.
Once it, went out, they stayed out.
We spoke to Yvette Carrasco outside her home in Channelview. Without power, she told us, the triple-digit heat index has been unbearable.
It was hot.
Are you okay?
About to not be okay.
Minutes into our interview, she said she had to sit down.
When it's this hot and you don't have power, can you stay inside?
No.
With much of the West under excessive heat warnings, Carrasco is not alone. In Portland, Oregon, officials say there have been at least 5 suspected heat-related deaths since Friday. As for Beryl, the storm's remnants were still creating dangerous conditions in the Midwest on Tuesday. This tornado in Mount Vernon, Indiana, crossed into the state from western Kentucky. Watch as the violent twister caused a power transformer to explode and damage several buildings along its path. As it picks up strength, debris from nearby structures can be seen swirling in the air.
I just got missed by a tornado, guys.
Back in Houston, some Texans escaped the severe heat and humidity at local cooling centers.
This year, my complex has lost power twice without hurricanes. It seems incredibly common that the infrastructure can't handle a basic storm.
CenterPoint Energy.
It can't handle just a regular rainstorm. That happened, 6 weeks ago? I don't know, 2 months ago? And so many people, massive flooding, and power outages all over the place. All right. Why aren't people questioning this? Why aren't people questioning that Hurricane Beryl, hurricanes, when they hit land, they would begin to weaken. Now we have them spawning tornadoes in Indiana or Kentucky. Why aren't people questioning this? Why? I want to know why.
Are still without power with temperatures hovering around 100 degrees.
KXAN's Ryan Chandler talked to those who say even though they've been through this so many times, it doesn't get any easier.
Hurricane Beryl hit Houston unexpectedly hard. By the numbers, it was a Category 1, but it left 7 people dead and 2 million more out of power on a 105-degree day. But more intangibly, it worsened a sense of freedom.
I actually wanted you to hear this 92-year-old woman. Oh boy. Some people really are just, see, everybody has a different constitution. She sure doesn't look 92. She sure doesn't sound 92, and she sure doesn't behave 92. She's out clearing up all of the debris around her house, Houston, power out, and boy, it breaks your spirit. Yes, when you are doing this over and over and over again, okay? So, like people would say, well, I've gone through disasters and it didn't break my spirit. Good for you. How old are you? What are your circumstances? How many times is it breaking the backs of these people in Houston and the surrounding area? I don't want to leave out the surrounding area. I don't want to leave out anyone who is suffering this, especially those who are suffering it repeatedly. It does break your spirit and your back and your pocketbook. So we need to have compassion and stop silencing people by throwing your experience onto them. Take a step back. Forget your experience and listen to somebody else's. What is this? Our post-hurricane situation has gotten grim in Houston. We need help. This is a man in Houston who needs, see, oh boy, do I need the internet again. This is also another stressor. I'm going to post a link if any of you know this man or even just want to donate $5. He's in Houston. He has to get his wife out of the heat. His wife has MS. He's got to, and he tried to book hotels, and there's no hotels. See, when this happens, an awful lot of people are displaced into hotels. Houston, San Antonio, all right, I want to say a 4-hour drive, but maybe it's a 2-hour drive. I can't remember, but it's a long drive. That's the closest that he was able to find a hotel room with air conditioning. People are really hurting. And here, Willie D. destroys Houston's new mayor and energy company for not being ready for storm. Incompetent. No, get it. They're doing this purposely. People think that people are good. Or, you know, they couldn't be doing this purposely. Start considering everything that's going on. It's purposeful. What's the reason, Carol? They want to destroy you. They're bringing down the country. They're creating slaves for the elite, for the fabulous elite, for the disgusting subhuman creatures. But I'm going to play just a few minutes of this.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? I'm hot. I'm hot, man. For those of you who don't know, we had a tropical storm hit Houston a few days ago. A very dangerous tropical storm that was downgraded from a hurricane. Killed a few people. Millions and millions and millions of dollars in property damage. A couple of million people were left without electrical power. A great deal of those people still don't have power. And let me tell you something. It is absolutely unacceptable for a city with Houston's substantial annual budget to lack storm preparedness. This is a city that experiences storms every year. We experience flooding every year. We know it's coming. So what the hell are the elected officials doing about it? What do they do? Every time react instead of being proactive, they are reactive. They know it's coming. But here we are once again playing defense. The recent outages in the Houston metro area has once again exposed how incompetent CenterPoint Energy is. This is the company that delivers electricity to millions of homes. And they are tasked with the job of preparing power lines when they go down. These people were totally unprepared. Did I mention to you that there are still hundreds of thousands of people who still don't have power? They know it's coming, but still they drop the ball again and again. Fam, I've been riding up and down my street for 3 days and I still haven't seen anybody, I mean not anybody from Centerpoint Energy. I ain't seen one damn truck nowhere near the intersection where I live at. And it's a major intersection. In fact, going both ways, I haven't seen one truck for 3 miles going either way. What the hell are they doing? It's like they should know we got a storm coming. All hands on deck. Hire some extra people. Make sure you incentivize people. Make sure that they're going to get paid double, triple overtime. Get in pocket. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Family, our community deserve better. This H-Town, baby. We do it big around here. We have the resource. There is no reason whatsoever why a city as vast and as
populated and as rich as Houston is, stealing all of Houstonians' money via taxes, there is no reason for this. So why is it happening? Houston was the first city that I learned went smart. It was Houston and the judge at the time, and this was years and years ago, when I was watching this press conference and they kept talking about governance. Governance. I thought, why did they keep... It was kind of like, as I was in like the late 80s and early 90s, why do we continually refer to this country as a democracy? Well, we're not. We're a constitutional republic. Then I'm listening to this, every person who spoke, governance, governance. So I did some research. Agenda 2030. Houston, baby. You got a whole lot of problems in Houston. I will post the link to Willie D's channel. So, yeah, I mean, we have problems. And, boy, did we ever need to create and maintain community.
Just beyond anything I can even explain is how awful the last year has been.
To watch a video, deal with this every day. It gets to you. It really does. So I'll refresh at 108, okay, because what people are saying, I want you to hear. Who knows? Maybe now it won't even play.
When the rain began in Vermont last summer.
Oh, yeah. I must have just...
And that we can't do that individually. We have to do it as a community.
All right, well, you're going to have to watch it.
Ideological debates about this. It is upon us now, and we need to respond now.
That's
Water came down so hard.
It blew now.
This guy doesn't do any work, as far as I'm concerned. The Secretary of Transportation doesn't do any work. He'll show up and do a press conference when he has to. I don't think he does any work at all. You know, the work that he does is, you know, for the reshaping of the United States. That's it. So that was last year. Oh, we're going to do so much for the people. And then you listen to the people who are interviewed, and they're saying, we have to fight with the insurance companies. You know, we have to fight for everything. You know, some people have recovered, but a whole lot haven't. All right, so the link is in the chat. Oh, man, this is really frustrating. So 7 dead, others missing after South Africa rains and a tornado. Now we have tornadoes all over the world. The United States was the country for tornadoes. Now they're in Russia and China and South Africa and all over. Nobody's questioning that. Do we need people to question things? Yeah. We sure do need people to grow up and face the reality that we are living. The link is in the chat. I did too much talking in the beginning. South Africa, NATO headquarters in Belgium, Brussels. Link is in the chat. Severe weather, flooding, you know, and hey, you've seen it. Just imagine cars on flooded roads, stalled out all over the place, floating by. Repeat, different country. I'd much prefer to be in Florida, South Carolina. Though who knows? Who knows? Even in those states, who knows what's coming? But I'd feel better because this governor here in Arizona is one sick puppy. I don't even want to say puppy. She's one sick thing. So yeah, can't play that. Let's see, bank crisis is much worse than we think. You are not going to believe what's next. Gregory Mannarino. Let's see if it plays.
Things are changing, as you and I have outlined here. It's the middle class that's being systematically wiped out. Wealth is being sucked like a vampire right out of them and pushed right up to the 1% and 2%ers. Meanwhile, the economy of the world is in free fall. But markets, let me just show you this. This is the 5 out of the last 8 trading days. Record high, record high, record high, record high, record high. Does this surprise you? No, it doesn't. Because you and I have talked about how this is not going to stop. Record high, record high, record high. More debt pumped into the system. More slaves created to the system. Dependency on the system. Meanwhile, millionaires surging around the world. You know what my greatest fear is? I'm going to tell you what Greg Mannarino's greatest fear is. That people are going to allow themselves to continue to be destroyed in this environment, not waking up to what's happening to them and why.
And that is going to cause a whole lot of, unfortunately, I think, violent chaos. When more and more get to suffer the consequences of this economy, of weather warfare, a whole lot is going to get really bad. It's already happening, you know, and I've shown it, and that's why I've shown it. It's happening. I'm actually going to be showing what's happening in New York. New York, man. People getting stabbed all over the place, shot all over the place, every day now. It's not the New York I love. A whole lot of people don't understand how you could love New York. That's where I'm from. That's what I know. That's my home. So for all of the people who, your home is Alabama, your home is Montana, your home is this, that, okay. A whole lot of people don't understand. My hometown is New York. Would I go back there now? Even if I had money? No. I'd stay the hell away because it ain't what it used to be. Alright, so I did... No, I guess I didn't. I'm going to put the link in. And, you know, just... there are... It's not just Gregory Mannarino, but an awful lot of people who are talking about... It's the holy shit moment. Whoa, this is happening fast. The economy, whoa, crashed and crashing further. We're kind of at in the sub-basement level. America is screwed. Everybody is screwed.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Oh, this really is pissing me off. So Big Ward, the genius, he's a truck driver. He talks about there's no work. He's off of work. He can't. If there's no work for truckers who are still employed, because a whole lot of truckers are being laid off. Are you getting it? That means there's nothing moving. Alright. I'll post the link. It's very frustrating. Very unbelievably frustrating. There's the link. Let's just try again.
Today is Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. I am back with another episode. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Tuesday, July the 9th. Time is flying. Thank y'all for tuning in. And before I get started, I'm letting you know this is some bad news. If you're not in the mood to hear bad news, you don't feel like hearing no bad news, you want to hear something positive and uplifting, and I'm sick of hearing all of it, click off right now.
That's also another thing that I'm hearing from a lot of people. They're sick of people calling them negative, calling them fear-mongering, calling them this, that. I want to hear something positive. Why don't you post something good for a change? You know what? Good doesn't need to be changed. We need to face reality, and it's getting really bad. And yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I'm glad other people are saying it. Click off. Don't watch my videos. Hey, what an idea.
And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to warn you. This is not meant to scare you. It's to warn you and prepare you for what's coming. For what I guarantee is coming. Because it's already here. You know it's already here. Probably refusing to accept it, don't want to accept it, don't want to believe it. It can't be true. It's impossible. Not us, not here, not America. Today, I got off early from work. I worked like 4 hours. I was off yesterday. Slow. I only work 4 hours a day. Slow, when I normally work 12 to 14. Slow. So I did 4 today. Won't go back no more this week. No shifts, nothing coming in. the whole week. And don't know by next week either. I am in import, export. I'm the #1 gauge of how, I've told y'all this before, of how the economy is doing. I've been screaming from the top of the mountaintop for months now to y'all, to my subscribers, to my listeners, to my family who follow me. Y'all know I've been screaming this message for months now. And y'all have watched me tell you it's getting gradually and gradually worse. Here it is now, I'm about to be off a whole week. I'm a trucker. When have you heard of truckers being off, no work? Ain't that what y'all always heard, that truckers, that's job stability, they always got work to do? Because people always buying, spending, people gonna always need trucks to move. Well, guess what? We're in an economy now where we don't need trucks to move. Why we don't need trucks to move, Big Ward? I'm glad you asked. Cause people are broke.
Bada boom. People are broke. This is not good. Continuous buffering screen every 3 to 5 seconds. Yep. This is one of the ways in which they take people down, as far as I'm concerned. Good night, Louisiana Skywatch. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. But you should listen to this man because he has a lot of very good things to say. How about housing market got us all stressed as effed? Yes. Oh, and of course it's not going to play, so I think I'll just pass on the link.
What's good, y'all? Today we got a video on the housing market, so let's just check it out. All right?
Listen to me. Listen to me.
No. All right, well, did I put in this? No, God, here. You know, a whole lot of people are speaking up, and I guess they're on TikTok. I'm not a TikToker, but yeah, this woman talks about how she realizes she'll never own a house, never. A whole lot of people are talking about how they'll never own a house, and a whole lot are the Gen Z, the millennials, and it breaks my heart that this is what they have to face. Damn, baby boomers, we had it good. Gen X's, you had it a little worse. Millennials, you had it even worse. Gen Z, we needed to care. What are you talking about? I cared. I voted in November. Oh, good. So responsible of you. Let's see if this plays. Come on.
I will never be able to afford a house. I will never be able to afford a house.
Home prices are rising nationwide as inflation remains stuck. Mortgage rates remain high as Americans compete for fewer available homes. Home prices in March were up 0.4% compared to February. Now that's the second month in a row that we have seen gains.
My parents' house that is $195,000 back in '96 is now worth like $500,000 to $700,000. My children will never be able to have the life I live because I can't afford to do it.
What's up, y'all? Before we get started, I got to do the YouTube stuff.
All right, I like him. He's very cute, and I subscribed. Nobi Finance, and now he wants support to get up to, I think, 600. He's probably at 600. I haven't refreshed this video. But there are some people that I like automatically, you know, just how different they are from me. And I'm not talking about color of skin. Their tone, you can just get a sense that there's a gentleness in them. And yeah, did I I wish that I wasn't so stressed all of the time, because I had been working, and still definitely in my consciousness to work to be more gentle. To be more gentle. It's very hard when you're really stressed out. But as you know, that's not my personality. But would I like to be? Yes, so I do work on it. So yeah, there are just certain people that kind of emanate that. This is one of them.
The goal this time is 600 subscribers by the end of the month. Now, the only way I'm going to reach my goal is you give me that HBO special. If you don't know what the HBO special is, that's a Help a Brother Out special. Now, I'm going to give y'all a second to like and subscribe, and I'm one step closer, all right? I bet. Now we can get started with the video.
I really can't afford to buy a house right now. That's what you get for buying all that avocado toast in Starbucks. I don't eat avocado toast or drink coffee. Well, you should have gone to school to get a better job. I have a master's degree and a 6-figure paying job. Okay, well, no one said you had to go to college. Okay, you're gonna get an apprenticeship. Now you're in all that student loan debt. I worked my way through college and I have no student loan debt. Then if you don't have any money, it's because you're not saving it correctly. Most of my capital is in investments, cryptos, and savings. I spend less than 10% of the money I get, as most of it either goes to rent or savings. I'm worth $250,000 and I can't buy a house.
All right, so did you see? He's doing one of those videos where, he's having a dialogue with himself, but he's having a dialogue with the boomer parent. The boomer parent. And there's an awful lot of them who believe the horseshit. And that's what they're doing to their children. You should have. They won't recognize the reality. They believe the lies. I've spoken to subscribers who have the boomer parents. And this is why lying is so... It's the number one problem we have. If people told the truth, we wouldn't have problems. Yeah. Every problem comes under the umbrella of the lie. So, causes a lot of family discord when people believe the horseshit that they hear. The baby boomers believe in the economy is just swell. Oh, there are jobs out there. What are you kidding? Look at all of those jobs. I went on the internet. I see all of those jobs. And they don't know that a whole lot of those postings are ghost. They do that so that people will believe that the economy is just well. But now it's so obvious. So anybody believing this is sick in the head. And frankly, anyone who's believing it, you should stay the hell away from them, because they will hurt you. They'll judge you if you're having any kind of hardship. It's what a sad society that has manifested.
Dude gave you every reason. Every reason. Dude literally gave you every reason, and you're still trying to question him. He went to college, got a master's, makes, he said $250,000, and he's still struggling. Now, for some of us, if we had $250,000, we'd find a way to make it work. But yeah, for some people out there, no matter if you make it 6 figures, you could still live check to check, and that is definitely possible.
It's because you like socialism. Fuck you.
The housing market has become so unaffordable for most Americans over the past 4 years, and I want to show you what happened. In February of 2020, the average house in this country was $275,000. If you put a 10% down payment and got a 3.52% interest rate, your principal and interest was $1,114 plus $500 for property tax and insurance, puts your payment out the door at $1,614. The average American only needed about $50,000 in a salary with very little debt to qualify for the average home in America. That was awesome, the American dream. Now in February February of 2022, the average home went up to about $350. 10% down, but the interest rates were still 3.73%. So principal and interest was $1,455 plus about $600 for property tax and homeowner insurance. Put your payment out the door at $2,055. So you needed about $65,000 in a salary with very little debt to qualify. Still very doable. Now let's fast forward to current day, February 2024. Home prices have shot up to $415,000, 10% down payment. Interest rates are 6.75%, $2,423 principal and interest, $700 for property tax and homeowners insurance. Now you're looking at $3,123. So now you need about $95,000 to qualify if you have very little debt. So if you look at the down payments over the year, it's gone up only about $14,000, $15,000, which is a lot, but also doable in 4 years. But what really pinched Americans is how many individuals went from $50,000 to almost $100,000 in salary in just 4 years.
Imagine having to double your pay within 4 years. You go from $50K and need $100K to afford a home that you could probably afford 4 years ago for half the amount.
All right, things are really, I'm telling you, the acceleration of our downfall is pretty intense. And as far as TikTok is concerned, look, all of these platforms are controlled. I do know there's several social media platforms that I haven't gone on, and I don't even know how to really work them. So, but there's a lot of very good information on TikTok. I mean, YouTube has, but they're all controlled. There's no difference, you know. X now, Twitter in the past, it sucks. I can't even watch a video. I mean, some videos play, but I can't. They just circle and circle and circle. A whole lot of people like Odyssey. A lot of people are posting on Odyssey. I have trouble with Odyssey. Rumble. But my brain became so taxed. The toll of what I've lived has been great. And it's hard for me to start something new. New information is very hard for me to process. So when I'm going from stress to stress to stress to stress to blah, that's when you short circuit. I'm saying this not because I'm playing my little violin, not because I'm wanting your sympathy. I'm saying it because I know it. And there's an awful lot of people who are experiencing chronic stress now in circumstances where they really need their brains to be working correctly. And I suspect an awful lot of people are really struggling with trying to figure out, how the hell do I get out of this circumstance? A lot of people can't escape the circumstances. So while I'm the only violence that I'll ever commit is against myself. There will be no violence coming out of me. But a whole lot of people are very violent. So when they are chronically stressed, easily triggered, right? I can get triggered into, a bad mood, for sure. But a whole lot of people have a whole lot of energy inside and they explode. We're going to see this more and more and more. That's why you really need to pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention. I wish people had studied body language, other forms of communication, because the words we speak, the words we speak are really the low end of understanding communication. because so many people lie. And so many people are pretending that they're this or that. Facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, all of that is a communication as well. And when you get to understand, even just a little bit, you're better prepared to back away from people who are showing you that they could explode. And there's an awful lot of people teaching body language and well, facial expression is in body language, but it's very important. Especially now when so many people are scamming and taking advantage of people. And yeah, so here, what is this? The future of jobs is worrying. Neil McCoy.
Bit of an unusual one because I want to talk about something that's somewhat worrying in nature, but I also want to give you solutions. I want to tell you some of the positives that will come out of it as well. Because one of the things we are seeing at the moment is this huge loss of jobs. I don't think any of us can really deny this anymore. It's become undeniable. It's even people who have blind spots around the job losses as a result of robotics, AI, and other economic indicators that are going on. Even those people are starting to notice it now.
And it's far too late. All right, the link is in the chat, but I just want to show you, once again, our daily job cuts. Let's see, we've got 100 being cut from CNN, Intuit, 1,800, UiPath, 420, 1,000 Dyson in Britain, 4,142 from PKP Cargo, 357 from Westgate Resorts, 126 from Zachary, 200 from Shaw Industries, American Health, 102, UKG, 2,000. You see these numbers? And this column right here, hiring. This is the hiring column. Do you think the hiring offsets the layoffs? I will post a link to Daily Job Cuts. Might want to check it out, bookmark it. We have a tremendous of people being laid off, a tremendous amount of people being laid off, and there are no jobs for them. In the thousands. Do you know what that means? More and more people very stressed. We've got a lot of people who are stressed. I don't like classes. So, it's a look out. Look out, because things are really heating up here. This is Gregory Manarino for his last post for the night. You are going to lose everything in the crime of the century. It's no accidents, it's purposeful, we know it.
The market is pricing in a much, much, much weaker dollar moving forward. That means corporate profits are going to be a lot bigger. That means, again, inflation is going to continue, although they're going to tell you, as they're doing now, inflation is getting better. Inflation is softening. Nothing could possibly be farther from the truth. Look again at the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. We're going straight up. Jeffrey knows exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. It makes sense, Jeffrey, if you think about the situation here. The market right now is absolutely disconnected from any kind of reality. I think we've been on the same page for a very long time. The gap between where the market is and the economy, this gap is going to continue to widen. We are literally off the charts here. This gap is going to be eventually be filled. But what they're doing here, it's a wipeout. It's an extermination of the middle class. You want to see it in real time? 78% of people living paycheck to paycheck. How about this one? This is Reuters from today. Gen Z consumers in the United States rely on parents as inflation squeezes budgets. People, again, mortgage demand. Thank you, Mama Bear 112. People cannot come up with enough cash to put down on a house. They're borrowing from their credit cards like we've never seen before. Household debt, personal debt, consumer debt. You and I nailed this to the wall from how long ago? I said this with balloon here. So according to Reuters here, Gen Z adults in the United States face increasing financial challenges because of inflation and rising living costs, with 46% of Gen Z relying on financial assistance from their parents and other family members. This is a report by our favorite Wall Street superbank, Bank of America, which I believe is a cesspool, okay? Avoid Bank of America like the plague here right now. I've said a lot about Bank of America.
All right, I'll put the link in again. Things are happening very, very quickly. And unfortunately, they're not good things happening. So, Mama Rages, yes, the PCR test stuck things in people. And I forgot to pull it up. I was sent a Rumble video on. It's the People's Voice talking about. There's a whistleblower who whistleblew on the spraying of mRNA. We can't avoid this. In the food, they're poking cattle and pigs and everything they can. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. That video was about the frequencies that are emitted from those who got that product. Not good frequencies. So, we're in big trouble. Big trouble. And I wish it wasn't the case, but it is. When you start to feel yourself behaving in ways that are uncharacteristic of you, that's when you have to pay close attention to your own self. That's when you have to pay close attention to your own self and become very aware, self-aware of your own behavior. There's not a lot of people who are aware of how they behave in the world. And being around them is a nightmare because they're so lost and they behave in such an inconsistent manner that you're like, their head's spinning. You know, one day they're completely out of the matrix. They understand everything that's going on. The next day they're going to Republican dinners or something. And you're like, okay, what the hell is going on? But that's just one example. I could give you so many. They judge people who get benefits from the state while they're getting benefits from the state. They don't even hear what they're saying. Don't even hear. That, to me, is frightening. Those are people that you just can't trust. Oh, God, I should write down a list because there are so many examples. But, yeah, I'm going to have to pull that video up for tomorrow night. The Millennial Trap, you will own nothing.
The term rat race has been around for a pretty long time. The meaning is constantly evolved, but the essence has pretty much stayed the same. The purpose of a rat race is to create an endless loop for the subject, placing them in a position where they move towards a goal, but there's no end in sight. So what I've seen recently is something I call the new rat race. You will own nothing. You've heard about the modern rat race, right? The whole 9 to 5s, 8 to 10 work hour days, 5 days a week, 40 hours, which at this point, you're probably lucky if that's all you got to do. Buying unaffordable things, spending beyond your means, the great American dream of living a lifestyle above your income level. It keeps the masses productive, busy, gives them a purpose and all that good stuff, but the overall topic has been beaten into the ground already. It comes with monotony, lack of freedom, time demands, and potential burnout. We get it, but the way things are shaping up in the coming years, that system is going to get a whole lot more difficult to operate within for multiple reasons, and these reasons all tie together like a web. So I'll start with this. One thing that's been running rampant lately is something I call hyperproductivity, especially in these jobs. Eliminate this position, consolidate that position, phase out that other position. We don't need that many people or this, that, or the third. So many companies are doing this thing where in the past positions were more specialized, one person to one task or job description. But now with all these attempts to cut costs, increase profit, and reduce overhead, you have one person doing the job that would be previously held by 2, 3, or even 4 people. They're trying to get every ounce of productivity out of you. Hell, some people aren't even lucky enough to clock out anymore because they're basically on call 24/7. In the past, things were a bit more relaxed, but times have changed. They're tracking everything you do, and they're trying to get more out of less. And the sad part is, if you don't do it, then somebody will.
All right. I enjoyed listening to this man who a whole lot of people don't understand that they're even in a system. Can't believe he only has 5,000, little over 5,000 subscribers. Did I post the link? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. The link is in the chat. Makes a lot of very good points. Working full-time jobs and still broke. All right. People are really hurting. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people are suffering the lack of people that they can actually talk to. So a whole lot of people are on social media talking to anyone who views their videos. All right. There's a couple of other videos that I wanted to play, but I'm going to play this one. Carl Vernon. I think a lot of you know Carl. And I thought this video was particularly interesting. He's talking about, well, I'll let you hear it. I hope it plays.
I had a little comedy video planned that I was going to be putting out later. Comedy video, laughing at society, laughing at how insane things are, laughing at how crazy people are, laughing at how terrible things are, pointing and laughing. But no, I decided to pull over, and as the traffic races past me, I've got a feeling that this is the right thing to do. And I'll tell you why. Because I call it turning points. You've had turning points in your life too. This is another turning point. The last time was as a very private person. I decided to share some of the shit that I'd been through. And some of the shit that helped me get out of that. And it turns out from that, last time I did that, a lot of you said, shit. Yeah, look, I can connect with that. I can resonate with that. and ended up, doing the right thing for a lot of people. So here we are again. What's this about? It's a turning point because I recognize there's a certain pattern. There's a pattern of behavior, and I've always been good at recognizing patterns of behavior in other people, mostly, as a coach and just being interested in that sort of stuff. And yet when it comes to holding a fucking mirror up to yourself, we're not so good at that, are we? Things like egos tend to get in the way, or the idea of privacy, or the idea of hating people, or the idea of trying to get through shit. So all of these things tend to put a limitation and a blocker on stuff. And I've been noticing, probably for a while, a bit of a pattern, a bit of a spiral, certainly these last couple of years, where even though we might not recognize it, fear permeates. Fear is used as a tool. Fear creeps insidiously, and it gets us acting in certain ways. It gets us doing certain things, not doing certain things. We put ourselves into a little comfort zone that ain't so comfortable. I don't even like that term, because comfort zones ain't fucking comfortable. And now it's time to go to fucking war with yourself. Now it's time to recognize these patterns. And here's the main one for me. And if this resonates with you, I'm glad I pulled over. Things want to sweep you in. Environment. The things that you consume. The news, the media, people. It's like a vacuum. And along with fear, and along with the tools, and along with the mentality and mindset that these things create, drags you in. And before you know it, you're in a little comfort zone that ain't so comfortable, or you're living in more fear than you realize you are, and you start to follow some behavioral patterns yourself. Maybe you start to glare a little bit more. Maybe you start to hate a little bit more. Maybe you start to resent a little bit more, get jealous a little bit more. Maybe you start to watch some videos on things like nihilism, and how, well, things don't mean anything anyway, so hey ho. Fuck that. Shit does mean something, and it always will. You gotta go to war with this.
Oh, come on, YouTube, get it together. Piece of crap. Ugh.
This shit and this mindset and this mentality, not even on an external level here.
This is just going to continue. So, the link is in the chat. You might want to listen. It's a very different Carl Vernon video, but yeah. Time to face the mirror and look, if you're watching certain things and don't get all didn't go. Hang on. All right. Little one. Hang on. Cut. Let's do it again. Okay, there it is. I'm not saying, I think most of you know. You naturally experience emotions when things that you face. Something funny, you laugh. Something that someone's suffering, you get upset. You see the deliberateness of all of this, you get upset, you get angry, all of that kind of stuff. But people who get so caught up, well, these are people who are still kind of sucked into the matrix. You know, how do you say, don't let it indoctrinate you? Because people don't know they're being indoctrinated. Can we watch, at a distance? That's not to say that things are not going, that you're perfect if you don't feel anything from it. No. You're human, and you still have your humanity if you feel things. But it's like, I'm hardwired for this. So a lot of people who have said, oh, just take a break and everything. This has been me my entire life, okay? I've been into the serious things and very into the, holy shit, this shouldn't be happening. But, we just... especially now when things are getting so bad. Do we get so caught up that we do become resentful, that we do become jealous when other people are not losing things and you are? If you've done the work on yourself, you won't go there. And it's just unfortunate. I don't even know what to say anymore because so many people are hurting. And I'll include myself in that. And am I jealous of people who still have not... Well, I was never the jealous type. Not that I've never experienced jealousy, but that's not one of my issues. Thank God. And I don't resent people for having. I do get annoyed and sometimes angry when they don't acknowledge other people's experience, when they just wrap up everybody into their experience, because then they're cut off and they can't provide any kind of solace for the person who is hurting. That pisses me off. But a lot of people do get jealous, a lot of people do get resentful, and when they can't reset their circumstances, they're chronically upset. That will lead to an awful lot of very, let's just say, bad behaviors. And while I understand why people get there, it's no excuse. It's no excuse. I just wish that we had some semblance of community, some semblance of real humanity left. And we don't. I'm not talking about you. I don't know you. But I think most people, if you're not in that comfortable bubble, right? You're not in your comfort zone, and a whole lot of people just want to stay there. Yeah, even the awake crowd. And what makes the awake different from, I don't know. I don't know. All walks of life are awake, and the awake, have an interest in knowing what's going on. That doesn't mean that they're caring, compassionate souls, that they're mature, that's up to the individual whether or not they have actually faced themselves and done that work. But it's necessary now. It is so necessary that we change. And change takes an awful lot of work. And a whole lot of people, still those who are comfortable, don't want to go there. And then you have the people who are lying about going there, and then you find out that they didn't go there at all. Yes. The world. It's not in good shape. So, let me just see if I can do this for 5 more minutes. Come on, play, please.
You got to go to war with it here, because this is where it all counts, and this is where it will always count. You have to go to war with this shit. It's time. Because ain't no fucking media, ain't no people, ain't no environment, ain't no nothing gonna sweep you in and dictate how you want to see things. Because if you want meaning, if you want shit, if you want good shit, it's always gonna mean something. Don't ever fucking allow anything else to persuade you any other, because it will.
If you want meaning in life, then you are someone who understands that you have to live honestly and speak honestly, and you have to establish yourself as a trustworthy human being. Without that, you ain't getting anywhere. Yeah, very, very important. All right, so, wow. Got to the end of the live. Thank you all for those of you who are supportive, those of you who care, those of you who are compassionate, those of you who are out there trying to help others in this mess that we have all manifested. Yes, we all manifested this. I think back on my young adult years. I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but yeah. And I can't believe I was so driven to do something with my life. And look at me now. Thumbs up, Carol. That even though I was paying attention to, what was happening in the world, I was so focused on material success. Yes, I did want to help people. That's why I became an attorney, an employment discrimination attorney, plaintiff only. I just wish, but that was not my path, that I woke up faster than I did. But 9/11 really, my downfall from medications put on the market as safe, giving me a stroke, having to end my practice, behaviors that the more I got off those medications, the clearer I became, and I'm horrified. Oh yeah, I have looked. I have looked. And once you start this work, and you stay on that road, there's no getting off. I would not change a thing, even though I still have this mind and it will go to the past. And now I recognize the people I've hurt, what I've done. I have visceral feelings of shame, of a whole lot of stuff. Like, that's when you stop the behaviors. If you can't get there, you're still behaving the same way. Hurting people, doing things, flipping around all of your issues. Yeah. Now I notice not a lot of people comment on what I talk about. They haven't for going on 14 years. Not a lot of people comment. I have had subscribers who have emailed me and said, I'm glad you spoke about doing the personal work. Very few. Very few. That's essential. It is essential in manifesting something better. We have to become better. It's up to us. So, all right. I just want to check out our radar. I just lost my out. There it is. Pennsylvania doesn't look good. Virginia doesn't look good. North Carolina now doesn't look good. Look at all of these lines. Activated nanobot supercells. And let's do a quick one active severe weather warning. All of the severe weather warnings have expired. All of the tornado warnings have expired. One. Wow. Right in this area of Virginia. And it's a special marine. This is weird. This is weird. I find this very weird because that does not look good to me at all. Not at all. All right. May no one experience severe weather tonight. May everybody have a peaceful night. I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you for showing up tonight. And for all of you, stay safe. Awareness, awareness, awareness of yourself as well as others. And on that note, I'm sweating. Arizona. Good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.